we need to be well aware of the importance of Islamic civilization. When we political science, in engineering, in social sciences, and of course, as ambassador of Turkey, I will be very pleased to facilitate.
He has long-standing experience in Islamic education since Ottoman Empire, and then Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to today's Gontor TV podcast. Indonesia and Turkey will celebrate 75th anniversary of their diplomatic relations. So, as the nation with very rich Islamic heritage, Turkey and Indonesia understand that it is very important to prepare our future generation, our youth today, to deal with the challenge of a globalized world. So it is also very significant for us as Islamic educational institutions to aware with this issue, and University of Darussalam Gontor also doing its best to prepare the youth for the future of the better world. So today, joining us, His Excellency Professor Talip Kucukcan, the Ambassador of Republic of Turkey to Indonesia. Assalamualaikum, Professor.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
It is an honor for us to have you here in University of Darussalam Gontor. So, Your Excellency, to start with, could you please explain to us what are actually the challenges that our youth today have?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you and your team, and also Gontor TV team, for giving me that opportunity to share my ideas with the students of the University of Gontor Darussalam. Today we have many challenges for the world, for the young people especially. The biggest challenge, I think, is the fact that in a globalized world, there are different ideas coming to us today. We cannot isolate ourselves from the rest of the world, where there is a wave of different ideologies like liberalism, LGBT, many things related to family, new cults, religious movements, etc. In a globalized world, you cannot stop flowing of ideas. That's why we have to be prepared in order to counter these ideas. So what are the root of our identity? What are the main cultural assets that we have? I think when we look at it from this angle, we would argue that Islam and Islamic ethics are the most important sources of our identity today. That's why in order to address these challenges that I have just mentioned, and in order to avoid the harms that these challenges might bring to our societies, to our families, to our young people, we should be well prepared intellectually. That's why the University of Darussalam and similar institutions play a major role in preparing our young people for the next terms. As you have said, I think the future belongs to them. Future belongs to the young generation. And we need to leave them a good legacy so that they can have a prosperous, more peaceful world. If we look at the world today, we will see a lot of conflicts. Unfortunately, these conflicts are harming our civilization. We are supposed to be in a civilized world where different religions, different cultures, and then different ethnicities can coexist, can live together. Unfortunately, what we see in Gaza today, for example, the Muslim brothers and sisters are under great pressure. That's why we should acknowledge and we should appreciate the peaceful environment we have at this university, but we need to educate ourselves. We need to equip ourselves with new talents and skills, languages, technology, because life is such a thing that is not separated in compartments. We have to live with our religious identity, but at the same time with the technology, but at the same time with many challenges that we see. That's why I think the young generations need to be aware of those challenges that we can see ahead, especially erosion of family values, erosion of ethical values in the world. And if you look at many places, even in the neighboring countries around the world, we see that young people need a lot of psychological support. Why? Because they are living in isolated worlds and they do not get social support. They do not get this spiritual support that they are supposed to get. But as Muslim, alhamdulillah, we have got spiritual, let's say, capital. This capital is the Quran, this capital is the Sunnah, this capital is the ilm, the knowledge that we have. Today, I think we should remind our young generation to capitalize on these spiritual sources that we have, that many Westerners, many Europeans lack. And in many places, young people tend to commit suicide. Why? Because they are lonely. Why? Because there is no support. Why? Because they are not able to use this spiritual resources for them. Inshallah, your university is teaching them this ethical resources that they can use, and they can also disseminate this. Our responsibility as young people today is not only to learn, but also to disseminate the message that we receive from our teachers, from the ulama, from the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, and of course from the Quranic teachings.
Very true. So actually, sometimes it is very tricky from the perspective of Islamic education, because we have to create insan kamil, a Muslim with global competencies at the same time. So I know that before jumping into the politics, you were in academia so long time, and you have so many experiences in Marmara University and also in other universities. So could you please share your experiences, how actually Islamic educational institution can maintain the balance between global competence, but at the same time students also internalize Islamic values?
Well, that is a very critical question, because for many years people thought that Islam and progress, Islam and development, Islam and democracy, Islam and modernity, or you may rephrase in different ways, these are not compatible. That was the argument by many people. And even in the Western and European experience, there were some arguments that with the rise of modernity, religion will fade away. Religion will disappear from the public sphere, and it will be completely a private matter. But as Muslims show, as Muslims demonstrate today, our religion is compatible with the world we are living in. And we cannot isolate the religion and the material world from each other. You cannot isolate science and religion from each other. There was also argument in the past that religion and science are completely incompatible with each other. That means if you are religious, you are isolated from the modern world. You cannot be a modern, okay? You can be only a spiritual person, isolated, maybe living in a cage. So that was the main argument of the intellectuals of the 19th and early 20th century. But as we know today, I think Islam provides such an opportunity, such a background and the foundations that a modern Muslim can be in peace with democracy, can be in peace with human rights, can be in peace with women's rights, whatever we call it. Because at the essence of our religion, I think at the center there is a human being. As we have just mentioned, insani kamil, that means the perfect human being. How we can make someone perfect? Of course, perfection is not something easy, but at least we can approximate to the perfection. Of course, the main issue is that we are moral beings. We have responsibility for each other. We have responsibility for our community. And I think Islamic teachings bring all these principles and values into today's world, which many nations, many civilizations lack. I think we need to be well aware of the importance of Islamic civilization. And when we look at the background, when we look at the legacy, we will see science is there, religion is there, technology is there, and Muslims were able to use all these instruments for the improvement of human life. When you look at medicine, when you look at engineering, when you look at social work, they are all there. But unfortunately, we have disconnected from our traditions and civilizational values. I think the university here and our Islamic education, I think, is bringing all these legacy back to life, but also reflecting for the future. Because we are living in a world which is besieged by many challenges, as I have just mentioned. And all these challenges can be, I think, addressed by the modern and technologically based, but also value-ridden, value-supported Islamic education.
Exactly. I know that Turkey has long-standing experience in Islamic education since Ottoman Empire, and then recently in last decade. According to your thoughts, what are those experiences that could be implemented or applied in Islamic educational institution in Indonesia?
Well, first of all, of course, Turkey and Indonesia have different cultural history, different traditions. So we cannot copy one country and paste into another one. Indonesia has its own experience, and Gontor has an experience of 100 years, which is a unique, I think, experience. So we should learn from the Indonesian experience, and maybe Indonesia can learn from the Turkish experience, because as you have just mentioned, modern Turkey has also a background like 600 years of Ottoman Empire. So when you look at 600 years of Ottoman Empire plus 100 years of modern Turkey, we are talking about 700 years of experience. Of course, when you look at the Ottoman Empire, Islam was the major religion, dominant religion. And all the Ottoman emperors and sultans actually gave importance to education and training. They have established madrasas, they have established middle schools, they have established astronomical institutions. You could see that they have really united science and religion at the same time. If you look at the curriculum of the madrasas, you will find religious education like tafsir, hadith, kalam, ethics, plus you will find other sciences like mathematics, astronomy, astrology, whatever, sciences. I think that experience is quite important. And in modern Turkey, we have got schools like Imam Hatip School. It is like a peasantry system, but it is not exactly the same.
But it still exists.
It still exists, and I am a graduate of Imam Hatip School. And there actually we had Islamic education on the one hand, but also the modern education on the other hand. Here, of course, one should not really use maybe these terms irresponsibly. We should be very careful when we say Islam and modernity, as if these things are exclusive of each other. They don't exclude one another, because when I was learning Quran, when I was learning hadith, when I was learning Islamic ethics, at the same time I was studying mathematics. I was studying physics, chemistry, geography, and I did not see any contradiction and conflict between them. I think this is something that we can work on it, and as we prepare the young generation for the future, we need to look at the realities of today and also get some good lessons from our past experiences. And as we say, in the past, I think we have achieved a lot, and we need to revive this tradition in the light of modern world.
It is interesting when you say that Turkey has its own experiences, and also Indonesia, we have our own experience. Gontor as well, we were established in 1926. So that I think it is very important for us to collaborate, to establish collaborative works together, especially in the level of higher education institutions. I just want to let you know that University of Darussalam Gontor, we have around 17 MOUs with Turkey's educational institutions. One of them, of course, we have very active program with Istanbul Foundation for Science and Culture. With Marmara University also we have MOU with them, and then ISU and so forth. So in terms of this international collaboration as university, Islamic University, University of Darussalam Gontor, what must we do to be world-class university? Because last year, this university just achieved excellent accreditation from the government. This is the highest level of accreditation in Indonesia, but we want more because we want to go beyond that. We want to be international world-class university. So what are the tips and strategies to do that?
I think one of the maybe good ways of answering this question is to look at the higher education landscape in the world. When we look at the landscape of the higher education, what we see that if there is an internationalization of a university, that university becomes much better in terms of quality. That means we have to open our doors, windows, and our minds to the world outside. So we have to engage more with the world outside. Not necessarily only with the Muslim world, but I think beyond the Muslim world as well. I think within that context, Turkish universities can provide a good ground for Indonesian universities in general and the University of Darussalam in particular, because Turkey is very close to European universities, and there are many well-qualified European universities. And Turkish universities are also engaged with Erasmus exchange programs. Mm-hmm. So that means Turkish university programs are very much aligned with the EU programs. These, I think, contributes to the quality of the universities. And also you can invite some good scholars from outside Indonesia. I think they can make a good contribution here. And also, I think cooperation in terms of not only exchanging students and staff, but also engaging in joint projects, publications, and research. I think these are the basic, maybe, instruments of increasing the quality of Darussalam's education, training, and also teaching. As you know, in Turkey we have got really top quality universities, especially in medical science, mm-hmm. in engineering, in social sciences. And of course, as ambassador of Turkey, I will be very pleased to facilitate more exchange, more interaction, and more collaboration with the Turkish universities. As I said, we will learn from each other. And of course, at the end of the day, we will see that this international and global exchanges will really contribute to our universities.
Yeah, very interesting, because we just established new Faculty of Medicine last year. So this is the first year of our medical school. So we are looking forward to collaborate with Turkish institutions, especially in health science. And in terms of students' mobility also, we already send so many students to Turkey for short course and also for conducting community service program. So it is very interesting because we really feel that Turkey is our family. Mm. We got very close relationship with the Turkey's higher education institutions. Your Excellency, this is the last questions, especially for our Indonesian youth, our future leader in Indonesia. What are the messages that you would give to them to prepare themselves to be a future leader of Indonesia and also in the globalized world?
Well, first of all, Indonesia is the largest and the biggest Muslim country and the fourth largest democracy in the world. That means Indonesia has a lot of potential to contribute to the world civilization. Mm-hmm. I truly believe this. And also Indonesia is not only rich in terms of human resources, but also it is rich in terms of natural resources. Yeah. And if you look at from this angle, I think Indonesia has a lot to offer to Indonesian nation, but beyond that. But in order to complete our mission as human beings, to be a good Muslim and also contributing to the wealth and health of the nations, we need to have qualified leaders. We need to have qualified administrators. Mm-hmm. politicians, public service agents, etc. My humble advice is to, of course, work hard right from the beginning. We have to be well disciplined, we have to have an open mind, and we need to, of course, see the world through the eyes of our teachers, our mentors, our sheikhs, scholars, and we should always be, I think, ready for the challenges that is ahead. And of course, as young people in our youth, we did not have the opportunity to travel around. But now the young generations will have it. As you have said, you can send your students to Turkey and maybe beyond. Turkey is a home for Indonesian students. We welcome all of you if you come to Turkey, of course. And Turkey is a Muslim society, so they will have no problem in terms of adjusting to the social life there. I think, so we have to prepare ourselves for the future. Let me end with this. I am an ambassador, but I have graduated from Imam Hatip School. When I was graduating from the Imam Hatip School, if someone could come and tell me, oh, one day you will become an ambassador, I would never believe, because of the circumstances of the time. But today, there is a chance for the young generation. They would be the presidents, they would be the ambassadors, they would be the business leaders, they would be the political leaders, members of the parliaments, judges of tomorrow. I think we should give them this idea of responsibility. They should prepare themselves for this sort of leadership for the future. If they are not prepared, when they get the job, they will not be very successful. But if they are prepared right from today, I think when they get the job, when they are in the seat, they will be very successful for Indonesia, but not only for Indonesia. As I said, Indonesia has big responsibility as the biggest nation, Muslim nation in the world. And I am hoping that I think our young generations also will have contact, not only within Indonesia, with the Arab world, with the Turkic world, with Central Asia, with the Balkans, with Africa. There are many other Muslim nations where there is a very vibrant young Muslims. If they are in contact with them, that will also, I think, benefit all sides.
Yeah, excellent, awesome. Your Excellency, there are so many meaningful insights from your perspective, and that's the end of our podcast today. It is an honor for University of Darussalam Gontor to have you, and thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.